I'm double-handed here, so it'll occupy my hands. My name is Sarah Shore-Beck, and just to give you a little brief overview about myself, if I say Sarah Shore-Beck, I recently got married, so I hyphenated my name, so sometimes I forget that it's Beck as well. So. Exactly. But I recently got married in June, and I went for my undergrad to Ball State University, and I majored in exercise science aquatics, and I minored in entrepreneurship, and then went on to Indiana University, Bloomington, where I did a fitness and sports management master's degree, and then went on to open a fitness facility, and then I'm now currently working at Ohio University as Director of Fitness and Wellness there. Just give you a brief overview. This is about the PARCS position. I'm sure you guys are aware of the stipulations that were on the website. So this is just everything, and I'm going to go through play by play exactly what credentials I have and strong matches that I have for the actual position. So for monitoring PARCS sites program with an on-site supervision, as the fitness director at Ohio University, I supervise 3 individual fitness areas. One is 6,000 square feet and just has the cardiovascular strength training equipment. The 5,000 square foot second area offering just cardiovascular equipment, and also a 4,000 square foot free weight with dumbbells, circuit training, and all of those kind of things. I also opened a 4,000 square foot Anytime Fitness, which is my first position out of my master's degree. Generating community awareness and resources of PARCS program. An interesting match to this is that for the past year, Ohio University has become a money generation venue. So before we were just dedicated to students, for students, only for students. And this past year, we have given the initiative to go out and bring community members in and try to drive that network up. So that being said, I am in charge of creating my own marketing strategies, social media, Facebook, Twitter, those kind of things, creating bulletin boards and material. So we have all ages from 18 to 88 in our facility, so we have to be able to accommodate all of those needs and be able to give material, not necessarily to those people who are just specific to and they know all about exercise science, exercise physiology, but just the general populations. Using postcards and communication, this is what we did the majority of the time during the Anytime Fitness, and was sending out communications saying, look, we're here. Send emails to staff. This is a big one. A lot of times we send too many emails, so sending emails and networking through some type of Twitter, Facebook, those kind of networks as well. Development of newsletters and flyers. That's a lot of what we do as well. And newsletters is a great way to communicate to people in the facility, because if they're sitting there and they do not have a visual screen to look at or something to read, then they can use those newsletters or flyers to be able to look at. Cardio blurbs, having a laminated sheet of paper that's on each piece of equipment saying, look, this is what's happening, these are the new up and coming events. And developing a positive reputation. This is by far the most important thing that I feel like for the PARCS program, is developing a positive reputation. And some of my coworkers and also friends say that I am a little too happy, but that's about me. That's who I am. I'm a positive person. I try to create a positive environment and a work environment too, which then projects onto the students and then onto the patrons as well. Collaboration efforts between faculty. I'm currently serving as the Wellbeing Committee Chair of Ohio University's Division of Student Affairs. So I oversee all of the wellness and all the 7 aspects of wellness within the staff, and also staff and faculty, and also the student, graduate and undergraduate students in the Division of Student Affairs. I also am the Homecoming Committee Chair, which was recently given to me as a task, and if you are not good at programming, this is a huge task, being the Homecoming Committee Chair. So I oversee all the activities with the Homecoming Chair. So I work with several different, actually over 1,000 different people to work and collaborate with the Homecoming Week, the full week of events. Empower 5K. This past year, we ended up having the biggest 5K in Athens, working with the Empower Group. The Empower Group works over in Africa, and they do a lot of money generation for orphans in Africa. So we collaborated together with them and developed the biggest 5K in Athens. Employer relations. So within my position, and I'll actually hand this around so you can kind of see a little more about while I'm doing the presentation. As my position as a fitness director, I felt like it was very important not to distinguish between fitness, facilities, intramurals, club sports, all the different entities, because I felt like we were all kind of in silos and we weren't working together. So I developed what's called an employee relations committee. So all of us look at each other as a whole. We have one representative, it's a student representative, that come together, and we all work together to get socials together. We do incentive programs together, and we just try to make it a network within everyone and kind of trying to make it a family. So, expand learning opportunities. So, with my current position, I talked a little bit about this in my phone interview, but with my current position, I've tried really hard to work with the faculty and to be able to take what they're learning in the classroom and putting it into application during their work or teaching group fitness classes, personal training, whether it be working the fitness areas. This has been a huge struggle, and this is one of the reasons that I really thoroughly love the idea of PARCS, because it's putting it into practical knowledge. I think that's something that is very, very important and wish that I had in school. Monitoring and revision of on-site programs and activities. So right now we have what's called Beat the Heat, and that's been very avid this summer. It's called Beat the Heat. So it's basically an incentive program for patrons coming in, trying to get the log the number of hours. After you've logged the number of hours, saying that you have worked out this many times throughout the summer, having incentives or prizes. Weekly fitness tips, having ongoing tips throughout each week, saying that make sure to drink your water during the summer and those kind of activities. Weekly challenges. So I feel like sometimes with our assistants, our fitness assistants, they sit there and they say they're bored, they don't have anything to do. So I've developed what's called a fitness challenge. So each week we do different, bench press challenge, or it can change from week to week. It's like cardio challenge, trying to have a destination. If you want to go to Paris from here, and you calculate up the number of miles, and throughout the 2 months, then trying to get those miles, and whoever can get that, they're doing kind of an incentive program. So doing weekly challenges, and that also engages the assistants that are sitting there watching the areas. Fitness orientations, so going around and helping patrons that don't know how to do, a chest press or a row or a shoulder press, and engaging. And checklist of daily activities. As you can probably see in my portfolio, I am an avid checklist person. That's all I do is checklists. So, and my students make fun of me right now because I always have them checklists of things to do. They laugh, and I didn't do it this summer, and now they want it. So they're like, "Where's that checklist? I need it." Yeah, exactly. So a daily task list. It's not if they're not going to be reprimanded, but it's just to make sure that they're actually doing the duties before they finalize the day's work. Maintaining existing and creating new PARCS relationships. So with wellness programs at Anytime Fitness, I was in charge of going out and creating relationships with the local communities, such as, like the, I can't even think of one right now, but like Kroger. So we brought Kroger in with their employees and worked with them and trying to develop that relationship with the offices and networking with them throughout the community in Lebanon. Ohio University faculty member. I feel like within the past year I have done a lot of growing personally with being able to communicate, talk with, develop relationships with people outside of campus recreation. That's very, very important, I feel like, in a university setting, to be able to have those relationships outside of just that one building that you're in. So this past year has allowed me to do that and being able to work with and being able to talk with and use my strong interpersonal relationship skills to work with them. Recruiting, hiring, training, graduate assistants, and students. And I have currently 5 graduate assistants that work underneath me in fitness programs, personal training, group fitness, events, and operations. I have 4 managers, and all of those managers are underneath, with the exception of group fitness, under the actual graduate assistants. I have 100 assistants, so I work on scheduling the 100 assistants within the 3 fitness areas on 24-hour basis, 12 days a week, 365 days a year. 27 group fitness instructors and 12 personal trainers. that we currently have 87 group fitness classes currently on a weekly basis. So my personal traits, I love to learn. I would love to go back to get my EDD eventually, or my PhD in exercise physiology. That's something that comes from my family with several PhDs and master's degrees. I'm a doer. I'm accomplished. One of these things I could say is what my negative trait, because when I get something, I do it right away, and I'm not a procrastinator, but it can be one of my negative traits. Organization and adaptability, professionalism. Adaptability we can talk about with the cheerleaders, basketball players. You have to be adaptable. That's what fitness is about, being adaptable, working in and out of things, changing your personality. Professionalism, vision and strategy, team-oriented, coaching, development of students, and I'm a planner. So my short-term goals for the program, I developed it within a 30-day and 60-day time frame. Within 30 days, I really just want to be established with the PARCS program and being able to talk to people, be engaged, basically just completely enthrall myself with the PARCS program to get an understanding of where everyone is coming from. Because I feel like without that vision of where they feel like they need to be and having it equal out to where I need to be, as well as the PARCS program cohort, I feel like it's very important to establish that relationship. So the 60 days is use knowledge, the entire program ideas, and kind of developing my goals for my personal self with the help of the team, the PARCS team, and also developing ideas to improve structure within the PARCS program. Long-term goals, establishing outstanding customer service throughout the PARCS program. Again, I think it's extremely important to have a positive attitude and a positive network throughout the community about the PARCS program, and that comes with the students as well. Build PARCS name recognition within the PARCS community throughout community and outreach projects. Expand PARCS into more IPS schools. Work with engineering schools. So what we have at Ohio University, a lot of our equipment maintenance staff, they actually, since we're in Appalachia, Athens, Ohio, I don't know if any of you guys have been there, it is in the middle of nowhere. So, so we're about an hour, we're about a half hour from West Virginia and about an hour and a half southeast of Columbus. So, we're in the middle of nowhere. So, this has been a struggle for me for the past 2.5 years that I've been employed there, just because I used to be able to live near Indianapolis and get things at the drop of a hat. I think this would be great for the program just because with the engineering, you can engage the student population and be able to help the student employees that are in the engineering program and bring them and help, fix equipment, treadmills, and those kind of things, so you don't have to spend money, which we all know that we don't necessarily spend money all the time to fix equipment and things like that. So that's one of the things that I implemented at Ohio University. And develop a structured program for the patrons and students, like I said before, during the short term, but that's just prolonged with the long-term goals as well. Initiate and sustain a collaboration effort. So I went ahead and just took some of the courses that were online that you work with, and so I'm going to just kind of do an overview and tell you how my strengths relate to that portion of the programming and the courses. So the performance of teaching cardiovascular and resistance, execute lessons learned and teaching patrons to practical use by giving exercise demos. This is actually very similar. That one and the aerobics training one are very similar to the classes that I instructed at Indiana University in Bloomington with Carol Kennedy and Brewster. So, Brewster, I'm sorry. Rhythm aerobic training. I am a group fitness instructor through and through, so I do a lot of evaluations, as you can see on my portfolio. Exercise leadership, program design, and apparently health and special populations. Performing assessments at the beginning and ending of each quarter to see how patrons improve. I think that's definitely important with the program design, to see where, kind of assess where they are, and then implement things that we could possibly change within the program, and learning that and helping the students learn that. Did I change that? There. Human nutrition, creating a calendar of lecture series throughout the year that patrons can attend. So having the students come up and do basically a PowerPoint or a lecture series throughout that quarter, throughout the year. Coordinated school health programs. So Love Your Body Day with Athens. There's nothing really to do except for binge drink, and yeah. As you can see, I got several. I knew because it was really funny because a lot of my friends, I don't drink at all, and so everyone was laughing because everyone was like, "Oh, Sarah's at the #1 party school. How great! That's awesome." But Love Your Body Day is very important for those people because a lot of the students, since they do drink, all they do is drink and they don't eat. So we call it beerology, and so we try really hard to say, look, you need to love your body, you need to love what's inside. So we do Love Your Body quotes. We actually cover up the group fitness mirrors so you can't see yourself, those kind of things. Fall into fitness, freeze into fitness, and spring into fitness are activities that we do to publicize the fitness events and just giving overall general tips. Does anybody have any questions? Am I going too fast? Good. Okay. New and after school walking groups to prepare for 5K. So we can collaborate and work with other people on putting a 5K together, and doing that, having something a lot of people like goals to work towards. So if we have a 5K at the end of the year, we can develop a walking program for any of the patrons, the faculty, the staff, to walk together. Personal training is personal training for a reason, because you can be able to work together and you have an accountability partner. So that's very important. Develop leagues, activities, volleyball, basketball, and football leagues. Some people don't like to go to the gym just to work out. They like to be able to do something with that activity. That's also activity, which is great. All we want is them to be physically active. So developing those kind of leagues as an outlet could also happen. And Super Bowl Sunday, so having Sundays, this is something that we do also at Ohio University. Super Bowl Sunday, we get donations from Dairy Queen, and they're Sundays, and so we just do Super Bowl Sundays. And skill set for the position. My experience in supervising and training staff for the fitness areas. Prove the ability to handle multiple priorities at one time. That's also one of my major strengths, is being able to juggle a lot of things at once. Driven to succeed beyond expectations. I am a goer and I'm a doer, and that is definitely me through and through. I'm an only child, and so my mother and father are definitely, go-getters, and I came through that, and they expected a lot of me, so I expect a lot of myself. Dedicated, empowering students. I never knew how much I loved being in a university setting until I went and opened an Anytime Fitness facility and thought, man, what's missing? It's the energy of the students. I love that. It's something that if I were to ever get out of, which I never will now, higher education, that I would truly miss about the students, is being able to help them and empower them. My passion for health and wellness. I have a book. My students make fun of me because I have a binder that's 2 inches thick. I have 6 of them that I've saved clippings and articles since I was 12 years old of fitness things. So I have a true passion for health and wellness. Experience teaching and evaluating a wide group fitness classes, so I can teach any format of group fitness class. That is also a good way to work and incorporate all types, especially of populations, in one setting. Experience teaching and training group fitness instructors, personal training, and assistants quarterly. That's it. Okay.
No, you did. You're fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, can you make fair? Can you push that last slide up? I was trying to read it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. If we have any questions or thoughts or follow-ups on this part?
I think that I can actually save them for the end portion, because they're related to the presentation. We can break now. Although you don't want to make break.
I'm fine. I'm ready to go.
No. Okay, with that, let's take about a 2-3 minute break.
Okay.
We'll come back.